Okay, all right, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to call this to order at 6 p.m. Is there any public comments?
Yes, I'd like to make a few. First of all, I'd like to welcome Lucretia. She is our new, Lana, and so Lana's here also, helping her out, getting her lined out, and then also Lana's going to speak a little bit later as the rec supervisor. We also have Jesse here. Jesse, I guess there's been some changes to our department. And so Jesse is now in charge of the fairgrounds and the parks, and I'm still in charge of aquatics and recreation, and then of course also facilities and grounds in the cemetery. So he'll have some time to talk as well too. And we also have a new DA representative. So he was here before, so he knows exactly what to do. So, but we just want to welcome everybody. So some changes to the board. I also want to thank everybody for showing up. Not sure this has ever happened in the 25 years that I've been here. So anyway, that's all I have.
Is there any other public comments? Okay, moving along, verification of posting of agenda.
I, Lucretia Ernst, posted the agenda per NRS.
Okay, and approval of agenda as submitted or revised.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, new business, consideration and possible action of elections of officers for 2026. There's a motion.
Not everybody jump at the opportunity, but I believe the current slate, or at least last year's slate, was Chris as president, Bob as vice chair, or I should say chair, and vice chair. I believe those are the only two positions, and so we'll let the board do some discussion, and then they can nominate, and then they can vote.
Someone speak.
I make a motion, this is Ava Case for the record. The election officers, Chris stays as chair and Bob stays as vice chair.
Second.
Remember your microphones, please.
All in favor? Aye. Yes, remember microphones. We're going to get yelled at again. Okay, thank you guys again for trusting me in that. Consideration and possible action, stall cleaner payment raised to $8 per stall. Jesse? I guess that's Jesse now. Okay.
Hi, Jesse Segura. Yes, the stall cleaners have been very busy the last couple of years since we got more stuff going on out there, and it's a kind of a thankless job. I do believe that they deserve a raise of $8. As we move forward we'll probably look at the single night stays. So right now we're at $15 a night on a single night stay. So if we clean the stall after one stay, there's not a whole lot of room there. They're cleaning the stall out, manure, shaving the stuff are outside that stall. Then our guys come in with equipment, the dump trucks and stuff, and get it off to Miners Road, and then we have to deal with it from there. So as we move forward with the bigger events that we have, we're doing multiple day stays with one clean. So if we're doing 2, 3, 4 night stays with a horse and one clean, that's a very good deal for the county and for us that's going on. The one night stays, I think as we move forward, we'll be talking about possibly on the single night stays going up to $20 a night just to make it, if at $15 a night, I don't think we're not covering our costs of dealing with the stalls, the maintenance on the stalls and people coming through. And we get used, like last night, there's 3 stalls here, $45, 3 horses, $24 in costs, that would come from those stalls being cleaned. But it is needed. We have 2 big weeks in April, 2 big weeks in June, end of July, August, October, where we're getting some very big stall work. They're really earning the price they've been paid previously. So I do believe the $8 is reasonable and fair for what the job that they're doing.
I have one question. Do we know when the last time we increased the stall pricing? from up to the 15? Or
Yeah, I'd say it's probably been about 15 years.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if we recall, we set the price on duration of stay. $15 for the first 2 nights, and then it's $5 for that third or additional night. That was also to kind of give a break to some of the youth events that were staying for multiple days, like the junior rodeo. And so that's kind of where the format is sat. I believe we originally were charging, or at least we're paying $5 a stall originally, and then we moved it up to $7, and then we moved it up to certain events where there is obviously more shavings, up to $8. So we were paying kind of like a tiered $7 for smaller events, $8 for larger events, and I think that's kind of where Jesse's probably wanting to head, is also with charging for one night stays versus multiple night stays, and then each event does leaves a different amount of waste, and so I think that's where he's probably wanted to head, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there any other comments for Jesse? Okay, I'll just need a motion if you're ready.
Madam Chair, I would move the stall cleaners payment and raise it to $8 per stall.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
You need me? Did you have a question? You got it? Did you get that, girls? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay, committee and departmental reports. The first one is director's report, upcoming events, and updates on the aquatic center first.
I first want to start with, we had our annual shutdown. We actually got a lot of stuff accomplished. We had an entire section of the deck that was rebuilt. It was an area where the concrete was peeling up, crumbling, and so it would become a trip hazard, and also was kind of injuring people's feet, along with folks, tracking that into the pool, which then was going through the filtration system. So it was a hazard all the way around. So we were able to make that repair, and then as we opened, we had some situations with our boiler system. As you know, it's a specialized piece of equipment. It's not something you can just go down here to a local hardware store and pick up parts for. So as we got more and more into it, it seemed like it just kind of snowballed on us. But we were able to finally correct all the deficiencies. We've been open now for about 2 weeks. So don't really want to talk about it much because I don't want to jinx myself. So I'm going to go ahead and knock on some wood because, you just don't really realize how important the aquatic center is until you close it. And fortunately, we need to do it at least for a month, once a year, because it needs a rest, and there's things that we need to correct that we can't whilst the facility is being operated. And so everybody was real good with us, and so we were happy to get it back open for everybody. And so hopefully we're going to try to do the same dates. As you know, we've kind of moved the dates around, trying to find what would be the least impact to the users, and we seem to find out that around that time that we did it during December into the beginning of the year seems to be actually the best. It's not the best for us, but we also want to make sure that the patrons aren't being inconvenienced. But it pulls back up. All the activities are happening, so if you get a chance, come by the swimming pool. You can ask staff. They'll show you exactly. Actually, you'll be able to see exactly on the deck where all the corrections happened. And then we also did other things in the locker rooms and the things that we're not able to do when the pool is open. So.
Okay. Moving around, right along is fairgrounds reports. Jesse Skur to update on upcoming events.
Okay, yeah, just kind of just an update, I guess, on January and February. We had the bull ride New Year's Eve, and that went over 3,300 people in the building that night. So it was a good night. 1,300 from over 30 miles away came to that. The following week, we had the 4-H judging seminar. Some kids from all over northern Nevada came for that. Youth wrestling was the following weekend, and that was a busy weekend. There's 2,500 kids or people roughly a day in the building, and then father-daughter dance was last Saturday. So, and then moving forward to February, we have the bull sale and concert and the ranch rodeo next week. the Great Basin Bowl Sale Week, and then we have the NBU dinner coming up after that, and then we have Northern Nevada Youth Regional Wrestling Finals the last week in February, and the first week in March we have Nevada State Youth Wrestling Championship. So we have a few weeks to be pretty busy. So and then we kind of spring's coming too. We're starting to we turned some water on today on the fields just because it's pretty dry, and we had some pretty good weather. So we got some water on all the fields today. We're working on the main soccer field, the big field there. Trying to do some stuff to get that going a little better this year, and trying to do some upgrades and some things over on Liberty Pond with the road. And previously when we worked on it, we had some donations. Fallon Ford gave us a really good donation for gravel, and Roger Lambert Construction helped us on the road around there. So we're trying to, it's been 2.5 years though, so it's kind of, the road around Liberty is kind of rough, and working on that and then working on the pond stuff. So it's kind of what we got going on. Oh, the sports leagues, yeah, everything's kind of starting. January is kind of our slower month on the fields, and we have Oasis has a few teams out there with lacrosse, baseball, youth baseball. We have Atlanta's got flag football coming in April, so the fields are that's our hardest thing, and you guys probably know, is just from right now, beginning of February till second week in November. There's people on those fields, and it's hard to get any rest, let it get going, but it's challenging. There's not a whole lot of fields in the valley for the youth kids to use for sports, and you guys all know that, but it's a challenge we're trying to keep up with, but it's a challenge for sure. So.
Okay, recreation report, Lana Chenoweth, to update on upcoming events and the CARE program, please.
Lana Chenoweth for the record. It's like official now. Yes, Jesse mentioned flag football. That will be starting up here pretty soon in April. I checked today and we have about 65 kids so far signed up, so that's doing good. We have youth volleyball and fast pitch clinic going on right now. The fast pitch clinic has 26 kids in it, and the youth volleyball, we are at 67 girls in there, so that one fills up pretty quick. It's pretty popular, so that's all we've got going on right now. I'm looking at scheduling the No Hill 100 in May, but the interest hasn't been much on that one, so I'm still feeling that out. So I need a minimum of 75 people to make it worth it. So I'm kind of organizing it, but kind of seeing how it goes. As far as CARE, it's doing good. Beth does a good job over there. We've got about 90 kids daily that are registered. The only school we have to pick up from is Numa and Oasis. So we were lucky enough to have, the school district was able to get us some busing to drop off some kids, which helps with us because we only have so many bodies that can drive. So that's been a big help. But other than that, that's all I've got.
Sorry, how did the craft show go?
Oh, the craft show went good.
Okay, for your first time? Okay.
Yeah, we had, what was it, 10 vendors. We could have put more in there, but we weren't sure on the space. So I think next year we'll look at bringing some more in. The crowds that did show up had good things to say, kind of gave us some ideas for the next year. And Taryn was there and did pictures, and she said she ended up with, I think it was 65 families that went through and took pictures. So they took pictures and then kind of come out and checked on the craft fair part of it. So there's just more room to grow. So it'll be good.
Okay, awesome. Okay, consider.
Actually, can I say one more thing?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Also, one of the things that we're going to be doing, I believe it's going to also be with Jesse and his events, release events held over at the Rafter 3C, is, as you know, it's the 250th anniversary. So I know that we're going to try to brand as many of our activities as well, and I think even possibly end of the year, I guess, final event. And maybe you could talk about that. You don't know? Okay. Yeah, so hopefully, as you know, with New Year's Eve, that would be like the last day of the year. And I know for sure they'll be doing the fireworks and all the activities. And so, but there's a lot of push to, celebrate that. And so I know talking to Lana, she's going to be trying to incorporate that into all of her events and programs. So one other thing too, and it's on the agenda, and it's not really anything, I guess it is important, but it has not been moving very well, and that is our SNPLMA projects. It looked like they had kind of fired up and were going again, only to slow down again. So there were supposed to be some board meetings that actually were supposed to be today, but they were canceled. And so, but it sounds like they're going to be rescheduled, and we're doing our best that we can on our end to get all of our paperwork in order so that as we do get the green light, we can start moving forward. As you know, once we do receive funding for both projects, we'll be right away jumping on design for those projects, which should probably take, at least a year. And then once we are done with that phase, we'll obviously be going out for bids and proposals, and hopefully we can start breaking ground and moving forward with those. It's probably been a while since you've thought about them. Those or at least projects are rebuilding of the softball fields, not only the youth fields, but the adult fields in conjunction with the city, and then also all the improvements out at the 3C event complex. So it's, over $30 million. And so if those start to move forward, that'd be a real shot in the arm for Churchill County and also for the quality of life here. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
You good? All right, consider future agenda items. I'd like to see, is this going to be a good meeting, the next meeting, to maybe look at those stall prices? Is that something you'd like to? And I have to have a vote on that, right, to have that added on? No? Okay, so that would be my suggestion. I didn't know if you had to wait until fiscal year or something, but if we're raising one, then it's not going to balance out real well for you. So let's get you some more money ahead is my thoughts. So if we can get that on the next agenda, that would be great, regardless if we meet next month or the following month, whatever. We only have to meet 4 times a year, so.
Yeah, I think we're going to put that on the agenda, that we go ahead and have a meeting, so that
Okay.
that way we can act on it.
Okay, 'cause
And
that's our
then,
next
and
thing.
that gives us a couple of weeks, or at least gives Jesse some time to kind of put some thought to it exactly and put together a format for you.
Yeah.
And that way we can talk about it, since we kind of already discussed it.
Yeah,
I can't think of any other items at this moment, but if something comes up, we can add it to that agenda.
okay. Anything from you guys? Gals? Okay, all right, so next Parks and Rec meeting is going to be March 3rd at 6 o'clock right here. And I'll be at 6 o'clock here. It said or April 7th, but we're going to not worry about that right now. We'll do March for sure.
Yes.
Okay,
I think
All right.
April 7th might be in the middle of spring break, maybe.
it
so-
is. So
Yeah,
let's-
so I think that'd just be better to have the next meeting, and then we'll probably skip that month.
Yeah, and then that way maybe we can get some money rolling for you. All right, any other public comments? Okay, and we're adjourning at 6:18, ladies.